The average person is said to spend 15 minutes in the bathroom. Why not take advantage of that time and learn something new? Presenting the 15-minute podcast on weird facts, crazy details, and funny particulars that you'll be able to enjoy while you're taking a on your free time. Welcome to This Shit with Sam Butler. Welcome to this episode of the Shit Podcast, our special segment, Sam and Ram at the movies. Ram, welcome back, buddy. Hey, what's up?
Thank you, man.
You doing all right?
Yep.
Cool, man. It's been a month already. It's been quick. We're going to talk about movie stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends out there that like movie stuff, so this segment is for you. I'll kick it off with something kind of sad, I guess. Disney. Okay. Everybody knows who Disney is.
That's sad.
That's already sad. No. 101 Dalmatians, Mulan, Sleeping Beauty, and Peter Pan are the only Disney movies where one or the other parent don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Wow.
Right. I found that as a movie fact, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. I kind of have my doubts. Okay. I didn't research it like really deep or anything like that, but I started thinking about it, like Lion King, Mufasa dies, right?
No, Mufasa kills the father.
Mufasa, no, that's Scar kills.
Mufasa. Okay, yes,
Mufasa
I got it.
Dies,
sorry,
right?
Yes.
And so Mufasa, so all these but I do know, and this is a pattern that I saw in Disney movies, they're really good at making you feel really sad.
Yes, I know.
Because it's like they bring it down. It's almost like the pimp game. You know what I'm saying? It's like they beat you down and then they build you back up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
at least they build you up.
Yeah, and build you back up, because when you watch, like in Toy Story, I don't know that anybody's parent dies, but that's a Pixar movie. So I don't know what this statement is really saying. All I know is that that's the statement that I thought was, that's an interesting fact.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Now it's giving me something to go look at,
Yeah.
But when I saw that movie Up, for example,
it's sad.
I remember I had just gotten divorced at the time, and I watched the movie Up, and the old man and he, they're little kids and they grow up together and then they get married and they save their money and all this kind of stuff, and then she dies.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up the next morning, and he's sleeping still on his side of the bed, and the other bed is empty. The other side is empty, and he gets up. I remember I had tears coming out of my down, and my kids looked at me. They're like, "It's gonna be okay, Daddy," because they were little girls, And I was like, So yeah, Disney does that, But anyway, that was my movie fact.
No, that's very weird because cartoons, they're supposed to be like fun for kids, but they make it sad for grown-ups.
Well, there's got to be an emotional investment.
Okay, yeah.
They got to get you hooked in a way that you're invested in the character.
You won't get bored. Yeah.
So you're like, I feel for them,
Okay. Yeah. I got another fact. According to the Oscars, they happened last week. There was the Oscar Statuette is based on a Mexican actor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he's a very well-known legend, Emilio El Indio Fernandez. He was, besides being an actor, he was a great director.
Okay.
One of the best here from Mexico. Well, in 1929, he was in the U.S. working with Dolores del Rio. They were very good friends. And Dolores del Rio, she was a very famous actress in Hollywood. She was dating Cedric Gibbons, which he was an art director for many movies and many shows, many Oscar events. He did all the art, and he was designing the statuette. So he asked Emilio Lindo Fernandez to pose for him because he was very, very tough, man.
Yeah.
So it's a Mexican statuette.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yep.
Yeah. Even in the statue world, they got to take your job. That's all I'm just saying. It's like
no.
Hasta en las estatuas les chingan el jale,
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Do you remember the movie Romeo and Juliet? The actual movie?
The one from the 60s?
No, the two, I think it was like 2000s, no?
Oh, with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, that one.
Yes. Okay.
I really didn't watch it, but I thought this was an interesting movie fact. Natalie Portman was supposed to be his love interest.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The problem was that she was 9 years younger than him.
Wow.
Almost 10 years.
That's a lot.
Right. He was 21. Mm-hmm. So if you do the math, she was 12.
Damn.
Right?
Oh, come on. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And so,
come on, Romeo. Yes.
Yeah. And so Romeo and Juliet could have looked a lot different if she had stayed there. She was 13, is what it says, when she was cast. But it said that the scenes looked really awkward. It almost looked like he was molesting a little kid, you know.
Of course.
Well, of course. He was only 21, you know, and she was 13. Of course it looked that way, you know. So they went ahead and put Julia Stiles, and everything kind of worked out after that, you know. But I thought that was... And I'll keep it going with that, with that same movie. One of the crew of the movie was actually kidnapped.
Okay.
Right.
Wow. He was in Mexico, in Tijuana, Rosarito, something.
Yeah. One of the crew members was on the set of the Shakespeare tragedy and was kidnapped by gang members and held for ransom.
Damn.
A hair and makeup artist by the name of Aldo Signoretti was held captive by some bandits during a shoot in the Mexican desert, and it was up to the director Baz Luhrmann to try and negotiate terms.
Wow, that's tough.
So they finally agreed on $300. And they had to hold a bag out with the cash for them to pick it up. And then they kicked the Signoretti guy out of a car. He ended up breaking his leg. But at least he survived.
I know. Wow.
And it cost $300. And later they were laughing about how cheap it was to get him back.
Yeah. Now you laugh about it,
Yeah, now you laugh. Well, you weren't laughing then.
I know. Wow, it's interesting.
Yeah, interesting fact.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I have one from, one of the biggest flops in Hollywood. We are used to knowing how much was spent for a movie before even watching it. Like, they're going to sell to you, like, this is the most expensive movie, action-packed thriller, go watch it. And it ends up being like a failure. There was a cartoon called Mars Needs Moms, which became the biggest flop in Hollywood. Yeah, it lost about $150 million, something like that, close to that number. And it was with Seth Green, John Cusack. I mean, it's interesting, but people didn't enjoy it. Didn't
want to go watch it.
No, nobody, man.
It wasn't, because enjoying a movie and it flopping are two different things, right?
Yeah.
You have to go watch it first.
And then flop.
And then decide you don't like it.
This one flopped from the beginning.
But this one, nobody had interest in seeing.
Nobody. Yeah. Sometimes a movie recovers, like going to another country and...
Nope, not even then.
Not even this one. Yeah. Not even this one. I believe this is the biggest flop in Hollywood up today.
So if you guys want to change that, you can watch Mars Needs Moms.
Needs Moms. Oh, don't change it.
Don't change it. Let's leave it that way.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting fact, man. See, I got one. Getting back to Disney. You know who Alfred Hitchcock was, right? Yeah. Obviously. Everybody knows who he was. Well, there was a time when Alfred Hitchcock wanted to shoot at Disney.
Wow.
They wouldn't let him because they didn't want to let him film at Disneyland in the early 60s because he had made that disgusting movie Psycho.
I mean, his image was like a darker image. Very contrasting to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know which movie was?
No,
he was planning.
I don't know what he was planning, but he wanted to shoot there and they wouldn't let him.
Wow, that would be interesting.
Yeah, now they own all kinds of stuff.
Yep. Well, I got another one from 1959.
Okay.
From the movie Ben-Hur. With Charlton Heston. That movie used a lot of people. Used over 10,000 extras. It used over 1 million props, like swords, helmets, all of that. 300 sets were built for this movie.
Wow.
It was so big that all the sets together became an attraction for people to go and visit this movie. And for example, for the racing, the chariot race. They used 78 horses
Wow.
just for that scene, and I believe it took him like 2 or 3 weeks to shoot that scene. Just one scene. Imagine that, all the money they spent during that
That's
production.
pretty incredible, you know?
Yes, I mean, if you watch it for that time, it's incredible. Yeah, it's interesting. And that movie, well, it got 11 Oscars. So that's why it's
such a big deal.
yes, yep. It's a very, very important movie, and it has big numbers. So that's
I'm going to have to watch it now.
yeah, watch it again.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch it. You know, Amazon probably has it. Speaking of that, when I was doing my research, I read that Braveheart,
Okay.
it used a lot of the Irish Army's guys as extras.
Oh wow.
Like actual Irish army, you know, to fill in all the extras in the battle scenes, right?
Cool. Yeah.
But they had to reshoot a bunch of scenes because guys still had wristwatches on and sunglasses and stuff.
Okay. Yes.
And they got busted.
Come on,
Could you imagine you're going in post-production? What the hell is that? Ray-Bans!
Yeah.
You know, and they had to reshoot those scenes.
Nah, that's expensive.
It's expensive, but, you know, they were like military dudes, you know? They were like, they're probably in their 20s. They're like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Cool.
I have 2 more. I have 3 more. The movie Swingers.
Swingers, yes.
Right? And it's not, it's I believe that's a movie with Vince Vaughn, right? There's a scene where you can hear police sirens, right? In the casino scene. And that actually was the actual police because they were shooting guns without permits.
Oh,
you know, so that's cool.
That makes it very interesting because it makes it like a very independent movie, very independent film, but it's a great film.
Yeah,
cool. You don't need a lot of millions of dollars
to make a good movie.
Yeah, for example, the movie John Carter. It was also a big flop, $126 million, all to the toilet. But it's interesting, that movie, because it stayed in development hell. Lolo just named that. From 1931 up to when did they make that movie? 2000, something like that.
2012.
Up to from 1931, they shelved it. I mean, they said it was a very good story, and Robert Clampett, he was the director of Looney Tunes, the segments from that time. He approached Edgar Rice Burroughs to make an animated cartoon, and if they had done that, they would be before Walt Disney. Walt Disney did a Snow White in 1937, so this movie got shelved until 2000 when they made it, and flopped. Yes. Sorry for John Carter.
That's terrible. It's terrible.
Yes.
Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Schindler's List. Couldn't get a permit to shoot Schindler's List at Auschwitz.
Wow.
So they had to recreate Auschwitz in a movie studio.
Wow.
For that particular movie. That also got, I don't know how many Oscars, but
yeah, about 6 or 8, something like that.
But it got a lot of Oscars because they had to recreate Auschwitz.
Damn. I mean, it's Spielberg, he has a lot of money, so he can build it. But imagine filming in the real Auschwitz. The feeling would be different.
Terrible, right?
More interesting would be the movie. Right?
You think so?
Yeah. Because that feels the actors. They feel their acting is better because they're in a place where that
really happened,
and that feels their emotions and all that crap. 7 Oscars for Schindler's List.
7 Oscars, and that was in the 90s, right? Like
93, 4.
94?
Yeah,
94. So in 94, they were recreating this. So
wow,
it's incredible.
Yeah,
that was an incredible movie. Yeah, Schindler's List. Okay, you got one more?
No, that's it.
That's it. You're all out. You're tapped out. Tap out, buddy. Tap out.
I got it.
Yeah. I got the last one, and this one to me was like pretty interesting. Familiar with the movie Die Hard?
Yes. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Do you remember what the place was called?
The building?
Yeah.
No.
It was Nakatomi Plaza.
Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's funny because every year around Christmas, they'll put up a meme and it'll be a picture of Bruce Willis and it'll be like, "This hero is often forgotten, but he saved a group of Americans from terrorists
Yeah, I've
at
seen that one.
Nakatomi Plaza." Right, and so Alan Rickman plays the bad guy, right? And rest in peace, Alan Rickman. He
Yes.
just passed away recently. Excellent actor, but he plays the bad guy in Die Hard. Well, at the end they drop him off the building. Right, that was an actual stunt that he did.
Yeah.
But to get the reaction,
Yeah, I know that one.
you know it.
Yeah.
What'd they do?
They count to 2 and they drop him.
They dropped him a second early
Yep.
instead of 3. Yeah, and
so
they
he
dropped.
gets scared.
And he got scared for real. And so that's a very iconic scene where he's falling. You know. Yeah, they let him go early. So that's pretty messed up. You know.
Yeah, play with your actors. It's
Yeah,
fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But that's it for this episode of the Shit Podcast. Special segment, Sam and Ram at the Movies. We're going to change the format a little bit on the next episodes. We're going to try it out and see how it works. We're going to actually pick a specific film and then find weird facts about that film and then talk about it. And that's something that we think would be kind of cool to try. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that, and we'll see how it works out. Please leave comments on our page, on our social media, our YouTube channel and everything. Hit like, subscribe, the little bell, the whole 9 yards. You can find us on our page on Facebook, Los Cagadienses, and you can find Ram at
Doobies Boobies.
Doobies Boobies, right? And that's exactly how it's spelled. Doobies Boobies. And you can find me as Tu Amigo Sam. That's TU Amigo Sam on all social media. And Está Cagado Podcast on platforms for podcasts. That wraps up this episode of Sam and Ram at the Movies. Thank you all for listening.